We're going to do some practice for the application of multiplication. So just as we did with addition, it's important for us to understand what words mean multiplication so that when we hear them in a story problem or we're asked to find the product, etc., that we know what we're doing. So some of the words that you will want to know for multiplication are times, or multiply by, or product. Here are a couple of examples. For times 3, or multiply 8 by 4, or find the product of 2 and 7. And notice those are all multiplication. Again, when we're writing multiplication, remember we can write it with the x. You'll see quite often the 4 times 3 written with the dot instead, or you might also see 4 parenthesis 3. Remember that all three of these are equivalent, so it doesn't matter which one, they're all correct. So here's a question for us. The average monthly income for workers in the fast food industry is $1,207, and we're asked to find what a typical worker would earn in 1 year. So if it's $1,207 each month, and there are 12 months, then we are actually multiplying those values. Now notice on this one, they're not asking for an estimation, they're asking for how much they would typically earn. So even though the 1,207 was probably an estimation, we're going to multiply these out. So 2 times 7 is 14, carry the 1. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. And then again, this one I'm multiplying by the 10, so I'm going to write a 0 as a placeholder. And then I'm simply going to take all of those values times 1 and add them together. So 4 plus 0 is 4, and then I get 8, 4, 4, and 1. Again, this is a story problem, and so it makes sense for us to write an answer or a sentence as an answer. So the sentence would be, the average monthly income for workers in the fast food industry is, per year, is $14,484. This question should look fairly familiar to you. We just estimated in the previous lesson the average revenue or total revenue for the airline. In this question, we're going to find the exact value. We're going to use... This question likely looks familiar to you. We did a question very similar to this in our last lesson where we were estimating the revenue for the airline. On this question, we're actually going to multiply to find the exact value of the airline. So again, we have $512 for a ticket, and the plane carries 205 passengers. So on our last attempt, we rounded this to 500, we rounded this to 200, and we said that it was approximately $100,000, if I remember correctly. So now let's find the actual value. 512 multiplied by 205. Again, I'm going to do those partial sums. So I'm going to take 5 times 2 to get 10. 5 times 1 plus 1 is 6. And 5 times 5 is 25. To take everything times 0, again, I would add that 0, and then I would just get a whole line of zeros. So it's up to you if you want to write that or not. I'm going to skip that part. I'm going to go straight to the 2 because I know that this would give me only zeros. But the 2, remember, is actually 200, so I need 2 zeros as placeholders. And then 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 5 is 10, and I'm going to add those together. And so when I do that, notice I get an exact answer of $104,960. My estimation was about $100,000, so I feel like that is a pretty good estimation. Again, anytime you have a story problem, you should write the sentence that explains your answer. So the total revenue for the airline is $104,960.